What do you want your legacy to be?
Ooh, good question. Good question. What do I want my legacy to be?
Hi, I'm Lisa Haisha. This legacy series came into fruition by pain and sorrow, seeing my mom riddled with cancer. I was spending a lot of time with her during her last 6 months of life. And as each month passed, she got more and more focused on her legacy and feeling like she hadn't fulfilled her purpose by writing her memoirs for her 6 grandchildren.
I want my legacy to be one of love and service, truly.
Somebody who made a difference.
I want to leave a legacy that I did something and I didn't just sit there and do nothing. I tried and I went out there and just spread love and hope and happiness.
Well, legacy, I think, is an interesting word. In terms of if one's legacy in time is what footprint one leaves in the sand after one is gone, then we know that the wind is going to come up and is going to obliterate that footprint in no time at all.
Well, it's a word I mentioned earlier, truth. That my life is about truth and living love. Not talking about it, but living it.
The answers that I received brought up more questions, of course, so I would ask those questions and get an answer immediately, and ask those questions and get an answer immediately, and before I knew it, I was involved in a non-paper dialogue, which I chose to call, after it was all said and done, Conversations with God. But I'll tell you, Lisa, that before I could even finish asking a question, I'd get the answer to it.
And that never happened to you before?
No, nothing like that.
And one of the people who really taught me a lot was Henry Winkler. I learned a ton about being gracious to people in large crowds, in large numbers, and I would watch him and see how he would do it, and he was the best I've ever seen.
So there's nothing that you regret or that you think, God, I made the wrong choice? What about the Partridge Family, when they said if you did the Partridge Family, you would kill your film
movie
career?
Exactly.
Yes.
Are you kidding? It was one of the best things I've ever done. I got to stay home and raise my kids for almost 5 years. And they were school age then, and it was just the greatest.
That is not a typical answer.
I know.
Of an Academy Award-winning actress. Career is everything.
I know. No, but
Yes,
that's
but
the point. It's never been everything to me.
They can't possibly be exactly like their parents, nor should they be. And that's one of the most beautiful things in life is diversity, even within your own family, I think. And as long as you respect that, you'll always be tight with your kids. And I would never feel I'm a successful person if my kids didn't love and cherish me.
So maybe that's what your legacy is, to give to your children that gift of be who you want to be and be you.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, in the real world, there is no time. You know, the past is only in your mind, the future is only in your mind. So every moment I either reenact that or I don't. And when I do, incredible things happen. I always say, when I practice what I preach, my life really works. You know, so when I do that, it's as true today as it was, 30 years ago.
Yes.
What is Sue Wong going to really be leaving behind?
Yes.
And I would say beauty.
A world better than the one that I was born into. To future generations, I want to leave behind a legacy that from this point on, we put an end to oppression. We put an end to environmental degradation. We put an end to the collapse of ecosystems. We put an end to that. I want my legacy to be one of power, and one showing that this generation and young people on the earth are just as powerful as the leaders that have the suits and ties and are making the big decisions. We have just as much power as them.
Go out there and live your greatest legacy, because I promise you, when you're on your deathbed, you're going to think of this moment and be sorry if you didn't do it, and be thankful that you did. So all those who love you, who are still here, could still bask in who you are and learn and grow and be inspired by your life.